Hi guys, today I want to do a quick analysis of the recent conflict that ensued between Hamas and Israel, or the Palestine and Israel, however you wanted to view that. Um, First off, let me start by saying that I'm not picking any sides here, so please leave it respectful in the comments as well. So I'm just doing a astrological analysis between this of this conflict that recently just blown up. I know the conflict has been going on for ages now, but yeah, it seems to be. We have the nodes going on down, so things seem to be getting pretty critical right now, and things are blown up as Mars crossed over K2. So let's look at the chart and see what was happening besides all that. So here I'm sharing my screen. Here I have the chart of Israel. Now let's look at the chart of Israel. What's happening here? First off, we have the Lagna at 29 degrees of Virgo, ruled by Mars, because Mars is the ruler of Chitta, and Mars is in the 12th house. Now, Mars is a soldier, and Mars rules over the 8th house of war, because one of the names of the 8th house is Rana, which means in Sanskrit war, combat, fight. And another name for the 8th house is Ashta, which means to die or to cast off or to come to an end. Now it seems that like the Palestinians have been cast off and live in Gaza. So yeah, that's interesting. But this also brings with it a lot of hidden anger in the Palestinians. The 12th house is a house of hiddenness, and Mars is anger, and the 12th house there's repressed anger. So there's somebody who's feeling unheard. It seems through the power of the 8th house. Interestingly enough, we have been running, or Israel has been running, Rahu Dasha since the 15th of February 2023. Rahu is in this 8th house. So this 8th house is karmas are being ripened. They are, they are reaping the fruits of their karma, so to speak, right now as we speak, of the 8th house. So Rahu is activating, amplifying this Mars in the 12th house, amplifying the feeling of being unheard, feeling of anger, repressed anger of Mars in the 12th. Now, let us look at the attack. Or wait, just a few more things about this chart before I go to the transit chart. We have an interesting opposition here of Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter and Venus, they are like the two philosophers. They are the two gurus. And in this chart, they are opposing each other. Where Jupiter is a Mula Nakshatra, which represents like the land after it's been burned off by like a volcano, and everything has been burned down to ashes. So yeah, that's not very beneficial for the country, I suppose, especially in the 4th house of land. Now it's opposing Venus. Venus is an Ardra Nakshatra. Mula Nakshatra is ruled by Nriti, which is like the fierce mother goddess who gets angry and destroys people and destroys stuff. And then we have the nakshatra of Ardra. Ardra symbolizes the Tira, and is ruled by Shiva, the fierce form of Shiva, I should say, Rudra. Some people like to call this Arudra, this nakshatra, instead of Ardra. So that's interesting things to see in this chart. Now look how Mandi is exactly conjunct Venus, and Mandi seeks to destroy the Jiva Karaka, whatever it touches. Seeks to destroy it. So there seems to be a desire, to destroy some sort of philosophy or some sort of, philosophy. So yeah, that's interesting about the natal chart. Now, remember right here, we have Rahu Ketu in the 2nd and 8th house axis. right there. And by transit, the same is happening, but wait, there's more. This is how I'm going to show you the exact chart of the attack. Look at this. Remember how the natal chart of Israel has the 29 degrees at the ascendant? Look at this. This is the transit chart. This is when the attack happened. And look, yeah, you can't see it there, but you can see it here. First house cusp, that's the ascendant. That's the Lagna, 29 degrees of Virgo. We saw the same thing in the transit chart. Let me go back to the transit chart. Look at that. To the natal chart of Israel, I suppose. Like, look at here, 29 degrees of Virgo. Very interesting stuff. So all this seems to be aligning. Then we have Mandi on the ascendant by transit of the attack, but also of the natal chart of Israel. That's how these karmas ripen, you know, it seems. Then look here, Rahu, his Gandanta, Rahu, Ketu are both Gandanta. Rahu is in the 8th house, and it's Gandanta. Remember how Israel has the 8th house Dasha activated by Rahu in the 8th house, its natal position. Now look at Ketu and Mars. Ketu and Mars were crossing. So right as Mars went over Ketu, this stuff just blew up, you know, and Ketu and Mars are often, you know, seen in conflicts like this and sometimes associated with terrorist attacks. The ascendant, the Lagna, is in the star of Chitra. Chitra is ruled by Mars. Mars is the warrior, like I said. He likes to fight. That's his agenda. Now, the natal position of Mars was here in the 12th house of Israel at 5 degrees. Look who's there, Venus. So now we see the passion in fighting coming together, the passion on the battlefield, the passion on both sides, you know, to destroy one another. It's crazy, you know. Then we have this Yama Yoga being created by Saturn's aspect right on this Mars. Saturn is at 7 degrees and it's like going stationary. It's pretty much stationary right now. I believe it doesn't stop going direct until like the 3rd of November. And one of the prashnas I did, somebody asked, when will this conflict be over? So I did a prashna and it seems to hint at like 11th of November. So, well, I don't think this conflict is going to be over by then, but we perhaps can see like a big shift in the conflict of how it's going right now, I suppose. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I really want this to come to a peaceful resolution. Anyways, I think because there's a Vipreet Yoga right here, Mars rules over the 8th house of sudden ups and downs and goes into the 12th. It creates a Vipreet Yoga. So through a bad situation, something good will ensue. So I truly hope that this meaning of the 8th house, you know, will come, this Vipreet Yoga connection between two Dishtanas will come true in this case. But it seems that we need to have a little bit more patience because, you know, Saturn is really grinding the natal Mars there, opposing it right here in the 6th house. And it's stationary. So, yeah, this conflict will definitely, I don't think it will budge before the 3rd of November. And yeah, then Saturn will slowly, from 3rd November onwards, it will slowly start, you know, moving forward again and, you know, taking the pressure off of Mars, or taking the pressure off of this Yama Yoga. Yama Yoga means like a death, a combination of death. And we often see it in, you know, times of war. So yeah, interesting stuff here in the transit chart. Mind you, let me remove some of this clutter right here and jump into some other stuff that I see in this chart. So this is the transit chart again, or still. Saturn is here in the 6th house, which is also the natal 6th house of Israel. Saturn is in its own sign, so it's very protective, so it's very strong in its own sign of conflict. And Saturn symbolizes metal, iron, stuff like that. And It kind of reminded me of the Iron Dome, especially as during this transit of this attack, the moon was in Punavasu Nakshatra. Now, mind you, the symbol of Punavasu Nakshatra is a quiver of arrows that keeps replenishing itself. And so, yeah, the rockets and the bombs, they keep on being fired and stuff. It reminded me of this Iron Dome. This theme. They're also trining one another. Now, Punavasu is also ruled by Jupiter, which is, the ideology. And as we saw that, like, we have the ideologies opposing one another in this natal chart of Israel. And it also goes to show, like, the religious or the philosophical nature of this conflict. And if we look at the D9 right here, the ascendant has Jupiter right on the Lagna, and that confirms it for me right there, that there is like big involvement of religion and philosophical differences that really stop this thing from coming to a peaceful resolution, it seems. Especially, we have Jupiter in Mula Nakshatra and then Venus in Oct Nakshatra, who are both ruled by two very fierce goddess or gods or goddesses. Yeah. So very interesting stuff there. Another interesting thing is how this creates by transit. Like natally, we have Mars right here of Israel in the 12th house. The repressed anger, the anger that's not heard by the Palestinians, it seems. The hidden enemies of Israel, or the hidden things, the hidden anger, the hidden military strength of them as well. But also, it seems to symbolize like the Palestinians that feel like they have been ostracized, and they're angry about that. Now we have Ketu Mars right here in the 2nd house. So this creates a scissor yoga by two malefics. So that's like a Papkartri yoga. So the ascendant is being like crushed between two malefics, which is very tough for the state of Israel. But, I would also say for the state of Gaza, because I think they are still one country. And, the 8th house has a nature of splitting things up, to cast things off or things coming to an end. And because Jupiter, Rahu is being activated by Dasha in Israel's chart, there seems to be some sort of theme that wants to break through of wanting to cast things off. Israel seems to want to cast Gaza off. We have Uranus in the 8th house of suddenness. Uranus is a planet of suddenness in the nakshatra of Kritika, conjunct the 8th house cusp of this conflict. So the sudden attack. So this was meant to be a sudden attack. And it seems that Israel, they claim that they did not see it coming and it came all of a sudden. Now, mind you, Mars is the ruler of the 8th house going into the 12th house of hiddenness. So there's two hidden houses, or houses that have to do with, secrets and keeping things hidden, active. So yeah, I might have to believe that it did came, all of a sudden. Came as a surprise, perhaps. Surprise attack. Anyways, another thing that I saw in this chart was that Ketu and Mars are with the sign of Libra. Now, Libra is a sign of entertainment. And this attack seems to have started at the festival, like a music festival. So it was a place of entertainment which was the battlefield. So Mars and Ketu are on the battlefield, and the battlefield is Libra. And that's the sign of entertainment in the 2nd house of Israel. All very interesting stuff. So very sad very sad happenings, but these are the things that were my observations. Also, notice how Moon is not only in Punavasu Nakshatra, which is not only symbolized by a quiver of arrows, but it's also a weapon Trekena. So again, this theme of war coming into play again. The 8th house cusp in Kritika. Kritika being related to war. Some people say that Mars is actually born in the constellation of Kritika, which is the Pleiades. A lot of stars are actually born in Kritika. And Kritika has to do with war. It has a warlike nature. So, and it's also in the sign of war because it's Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. Actually, Adolf Hitler has a lot of planets. So there's like 3 planets, I believe, in the sign of Ashwini, or a sign of Aries, I should say. And I believe he has 2 planets in Ashwini. And, you know, we have Rahu, Ketu, Gandanta. Now, Gandanta is like the knot. It's the karmic knot that as you try to loosen up the knot, it seems to only want to tie back again stronger. And, you know, that's sort of seems like a very symbolic representation of this conflict happening between Palestine, or the Palestinians, and the Israelites, or Israel. So yeah, that's basically what I saw on this chart, and I thought it was very interesting, very noteworthy, especially that the ascendant was exactly the same. That's just crazy. And then, oh yeah, this Mars Ketu just, you know, blowing things up. And the Papkarta Yoga on the Lagna, Moon in a warlike nakshatra, the 8th house Dasha being activated by Rahu being Gandanta, Ketu being Gandanta, Mars going over it, triggering it, etc., etc. It all comes together. It goes to show how this astrology just works, you know, and how much of a divine science and forgotten science it really is, and it never ceases to amaze me. And especially these charts, it just blew my mind how these puzzle pieces came together. Now again, my condolences to all the people who lost their lives or family members in this conflict. So this was my analysis of this conflict, or this recent uprising. I truly hope it comes to a peaceful resolution. Again, Prashna hinted that it might be around 11th of November that we might see a change. So yeah, let's hope for the best and wait for that date and see if this Prashna is valid. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified when I make another video. And yeah, leave a comment down below if you saw anything that I missed in this chart or these charts. But please keep it respectful in the comments. Don't go out fighting each other like they do in the Middle East right now. So yeah, that was it. See you on the next video. Bye now.